Hi, my name is Irina and I'm a co-founder of Ocerra API Automation. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to train Ocerra to recognize data from new invoice formats. First of all, you need to know that there is no such API system that can auto-extract data from new invoice formats instantly. As a result, you need to show the system how to read data from new invoice formats. At Ocerra, we are using an AI-supervised training, and we call this process annotation. Annotation is quite a powerful process as it can remember and learn a new invoice format almost instantly. In Ocerra, we have three types of annotation: value-based, line-based, and column-based. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use them. Let's get started. So I have just dropped a new invoice from a new supplier into Ocerra, and you can see that there is no name from name. This means that this invoice is completely new in the system. So let's open it up. So on the left, we have an original document, and on the right we have the data that Ocerra tried to extract. So value-based annotation works on the header level of the invoice. So now I want to show the system where to find the correct values. For the value-based annotation, I need to simply find an empty or incorrect value. In this case, we have a tax number and GST amount. So what I need to do is just to click on the empty field and find this value on the invoice. Here we go. And then I click on the correct value on the original document. And as you can see, it automatically autofilled this value. We'll do the same with the GST number. I'll find it on the invoice. I click on this incorrect value, and then I clicked on the original document value. So as you can see, it automatically fetched the correct value. This is very simple and easy process that you can do in seconds. You might have noticed that a red annotate button appeared at the bottom. This means that we activated an annotation process. When I click on this button, the system starts learning. And next time you receive an invoice from the same supplier, it would autofill these values correctly. Because this is a new supplier, it also doesn't know the supply name, so I don't have this supply in my accounting system, so I'll just pick up a random name. I won't click annotate for now, as there is another type of annotation. It's called line level annotation. As you can see, the system tried to recognize lines from this invoice. I think it did a pretty good job, but it picked up an extra line that we don't want. So line annotation is showing the system how to identify the table correctly. So for this purpose, what you need to do is to click Annotate Table. And you'll see this blue fat dot appeared on the left side of the screen. So what you need to do is to click on this blue outline and adjust it correctly, because what we want the system to read only this line from the invoice. We don't need subtotal, totals, we don't need it. So now we click Annotate. If you've manually entered or changed something on the right-hand side of the system, it won't trigger or activate annotation process. But you can still do it if it's a one-off supplier and you don't want to train the system to remember how to read this invoice. So now you can see that the system made adjustments and read the line correctly this time. I'm pretty happy with that, and I can click Save and submit this invoice. But there is one more type of annotation. It is column-based annotation. Sometimes supply invoices contain multiple columns. And the system might get confused and misread columns sometimes instead of description. There might be items instead of quantity, there might be amount. This is normal. What you need to do is to click on these little icons here. You see an icon on the description, quantity, and amount. So let's say we have a description incorrectly. What I will do is I click on the description and then I activated annotation process as the red button appeared, and let's say description is not the description, it's an amount, and start annotation. So now the system, now we are telling the system that description needs to be an amount. This is not really right in this example, but I want to show you how it works. So in case the system messed up the columns, you know how to do it. But let's get it back into the right place. I click description and I want it to be a description. And I click description here and I annotate it again. So here we go. So now I'm pretty happy with the result and my work on the invoice. So what I want to do is to click save, and we need to prove the concept. So what I will do now, I'll upload an invoice from the same supplier but with a different invoice number. Invoice, and upload it into the system. So now we can see an invoice from the same supplier, but we already can see supplier name. Let's open it up. Great, so we can see that annotation process did a great job. In the first time, the system didn't recognize the tax number and GST amount, as well as it didn't recognize the supply name. Now we have all this information out of field for us correctly. Also, as you can remember, it did read table incorrectly first time. Now we're told how to read this table and what lines we want, and we have this line here. So the system did a pretty good job, and now I just can click save and submit this invoice. If you have lots of different suppliers, it might take time for you to train the system, but we do offer annotation as a service at Ocerra, and when we set up an account for you, you can upload all the invoices for each supplier you have, and we will train the system for you. So when you start using it, you don't need to do annotation, but it's good to know how it works in case you have a new supplier, or you can tell us and we can do it for you. Hope this was helpful, and if you'd like to learn more about Ocerra, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit our website. Bye for now.